And there we go. Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Yeah.
Welcome to our very first collaboration.
Yes. And boy, I got to tell you something. When I saw the way that I have spirit eyes, I'm very blind. Like I have contacts in, but I still can barely see. My eyes, so with my eyes being so poor, I can psychically see very well, right? My relatives, I come from a lineage of very intuitive seers, Vikings and Hungarian gypsies. Anyways, I felt you. I've never met you before, but I was speaking at the Gift of Light Expo and visiting, and I felt you. And I don't use this very much. Probably could, but I just felt you, and I zipped right over in between my two talks to get some energy work done with you because I have an inner knowing that I do not question anymore. I've learned I had to, as I walked through my daughter and her hospitalizations and her sicknesses, and as I walked through my own childhood, I learned that this has a place, but this knows. And so I just knew I wanted to get to know you. And then I wanted your wisdom and your energy work. And I still don't know what all happened, but maybe you could explain it, like a little more about your work in the world and the unraveling that's happened since we have connected.
Okay, the body work I did, I traveled over like 50 different cities in the country for the last 20 years or so, since 1998 in San Francisco. Okay, and
Ooh.
with that said, the work I'm doing is I'm using the human body as an instrument. The body is an organic instrument. It's the oldest instrument. Okay. And then every pressure point is a music note.
I love that. I love that.
So I remember 2002 or 2003, I was doing a small teaching, and one of African American brother, he had a dream at the night. In the dream, I was sitting and I was doing meditating. I was working on a person's back, but instead of working on a person's back, I was working. I was playing the spinal all the 30 spinal bone is like music notes on both sides. That's the beginning of downloading. Yeah. So the work I'm doing in the matriarchal lineage is old, 5,000 years ago. I remember 2002 or 2003, I was in Chicago Skokie Expo. I met a Polish man. He passed away a year later. He told me, he says, like what you we meet. He says, I thought this tradition has been obsolete for the last couple of thousand years. Now I'm doing it. So in the divine matriarchal lineage, like Mountain Olympias, those time, universe was choosing on the female lineage. Okay, they do shamanic dance. When they do the shamanic dance, their body is a bridge, is a conduit between a Sikh person or Sikh community on one side and cosmic purity on the other side. That's how you see the Chinese dance. That's how you see the Chinese acupuncture models. All the twist, the turn, all the points materialize for thousands of years. So that's so the very first time I did this, I was in the dreams. I was in the channel state. I remember 2001. Friday night, I was in Chicago. I had a dream because it's the first major expo I did, 2000. And between 3 to 5 a.m., I had in the dream state. In the dream state, all people's organs, the senses are twisted. You know, for the next 48 hours, every person on the table, their energy or the body, the key organ or whatever needs to be happening is in the dream. So it took me another 6 months to download it. So that's the beginning. So the body is an organic instrument, and each pressure point is a musical note. When that musical note is open, you'll have a conversation with the universe. When the note is not open, you get ancestral debris inside.
Well, that is as factual as it gets and so
Yeah,
profound but also simple. It's like if there's debris in it, you're getting right disease, illness, illusion. It's not play. It's like an untuned guitar instrument. It's like, oh, this
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
so
Piano
what
tonus. Yeah, exactly.
and my experience was, and I know there's thousands of experiences when it comes to healing work, but so would you say that when I had a session with you, you had opened up, it felt like you cleared out one of or part of my instrument around the solar plexus, the heart, and then it had to be tuned. It took some time to initiate and understand the complexity of how to replay it, because I'm guessing for generations the bodies of my ancestors, it was playing that same note, and then my body just took it on that same bad note, that woo, and so mine took it on, and we were helping it remember that's not how you play, like that's not the sound, or that's not your highest potential sound you can make.
Okay. Once you have a spirit to spirit connection or soul to soul connection, and the moment they touch at that point is like recorded DVD memories broadcasting.
Mm.
So in the case for you, by the way, you are the only person for the 2 days I feel the divine feminine. I
Mm.
can enjoy play your body as an instrument for days. Okay. And at the same time, you are so open. You have no suspicions. You're open, you're in tone, you're relaxed. Okay. But at the same time, what you say reminded me on the stomach meridian, right above nipple, there's a pressure point they call celestial storage house.
Mm.
Good. That is remember when you're 22 or 24. Either you're 22 years ago or 24 years or something like that. I forgot it. Okay. So that's how when I touch a point, because everything is number. Everything is number. A second is a number. We have 60 seconds a minute repeating by itself. So that second in 60 seconds turn into a minute and turn into 60 minutes and turn into hours and a day and a month and a year. So the whole year, just that pivotal second. So if that factor is open, you get a cosmic dance. If that factor is closed, either personally or ancestrally, you're repeating the old habitual patterns numerically.
Mhm.
That's why each pressure point is a time machine. You touch that point, they tell you exactly the age of the year down to that event. Because for majority of the pathology, average people, 95 to 97% of health profession, they glorified about the pathology. Meaning, I can know you, you don't know me. What's wrong with you?
Hmm.
So that's the beginning root. That is how the Chinese medicine 4,000 years ago, instead of you say, Dad, why did you eat my chest? How did you invent myself? How did you came to my how did your spirits came to my chest? So instead of blaming that, okay, why my eyes look that? I used to be okay. On me, my left hand was occupied by my father's mom's spirit, my left hand. Okay, my right foot was occupied by mom's mom. So I had two grandmoms. I'd never seen them in my life before I was born. They died before I was born. But I used to hate my hands, small feet. Now what's happening? So they downloaded their genetic imprintings, their life stories into my presence. So that is
Wow.
how we treat bodies as empty vessel. The 15 empty vessels, 15 empty rooms. And those ancestral attendees, they choose a specific area randomly, organically, by chance, whatever. So that area becomes either advanced ancestral contribution or pathological roots or pathological centers to begin with it. Because everybody have unfinished business. Okay, majority of people. That's why they come to a conception party and investing what they have and what they have not.
Okay, I just had a memory. You just brought up a memory of when my grandmother, my mom's mom was passing away. She passed away at home, and me and my mom was mostly with her, but I came to visit and read her stories and say my goodbyes. And I saw a big ball of it was energy. It went over my mother's head and it went into me. And later I asked my spirit guides, and it might have been a dream. I just remember having a conversation. Well, what was that? And they said, well, that's the tears your grandmother never cried, or, her karma that she never got to express going into you. And I said, well, why can't my mom get it? She's my mom. That's her mom. She should do it. And they said, well, she doesn't have the ability to hold that. And I
That's
knew
why
it's
you're the
different.
choosing person. That's why you are the choosing person. See, you're the choosing person. Sometimes the answers passed on generation, sometimes cross generation, sometimes from spirits to spirits, couple generations back. You never know.
Yeah. It fits
Exactly.
with ancestral healing in my work so far, right? I just started really diving into my offerings in 2012. And I remember like just hearing that, like I was working with one lady and she's going blind. And then her mom or her sisters all have the same eye disease. Her mom had it, her grandmother had it. And so I closed my eyes to see, and I heard her great grandmother, maybe I think it was nine or 13 generations back. She said, I saw something so awful that I never wanted anyone I loved to see anything awful again. And she exclaimed that. And then seemed to inform that deep, passionate emotion of wanting to protect her loved ones from seeing, created an illness in her family line's eyes. What was that about?
Okay. First of all, you are talking about there's two or three things happening. In 1996, I did the very first workshop in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And on that event, I met MET, my past life wife. I
Mm-hmm.
was Hopi, okay? And I did a shamanic clearing for a Toltec master, Maya tradition, okay?
Cool.
There were certain possessive people died due to him, directly or indirectly. They start attacking me and attacking my wife at the time. Just driving car, 4 lane, 2 lane on each side, 3 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, her car got flipped. It is from that moment on I decided to cut off my connection with my family.
Yeah.
Okay, so see talk about okay. That's first one. On the second one, the moment you're talking about 2012, that is my Gmail address, 2000 2012 and December, called 12.
It's a big
That took
year,
us
huh?
that took us 14 years for us to meet. You see, it took us 14 years.
And I said,
And the
oh, there
four,
you are.
yeah, yeah. So that's why the 14 in Chinese culture. Look at this finger, okay? We have a 5 finger, but the thumb has 2 bones. The rest of the long finger each has 3. Those each of the finger is a representation of the 14 ancestors.
14. That's
That's what I'm
interesting.
talking the number 14. That's why in the chart, because the moment we choosing a conception, our father is number 7 on his bloodline. Because him, the third generation, his parents 2, and his grandparents 4, from 4 to 2 to 1, right? The same
Oh,
thing, his mom. His mom is also number 7. So she has 2 parents and 4 grandparents. So that's the 14 ancestors, which are the best contribution from Chinese culture for the humanity. 14 meridian are the disguised name of the 14 ancestors.
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I know we've been voice clipping back and forth, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much information in the charts you have, which I'll be able to kind of post in the comments and stuff if need be. It's like, and please, anyone who listens, like, if you have any questions, put them in there because we can talk about some more things today. We just kind of wanted to get warmed up and get some understanding. And it's so interesting because I do psychic readings Monday through Thursday. I guess that's what you call them. I don't think the future is determined, but I'll channel things. And I've always heard 9 to 13 generations back, but I just got it. I just got it maybe one off because I
Not off.
always.
You're not off. Let me explain but what is 19, what is 13 generation. First of all, the moment you choosing this lifetime incarnation,
Mhm.
there are three generations memories embedded inside sperm and cell.
Yeah.
So our dad's sperm and our mom's egg are three generation accumulation. Okay, good. That's the first three. Okay, so we are the fourth generation. Okay, now if like you, if your father was present in his conception, whether he's present or not, he has three generations behind it. Got it? So we have three generations inside. Our parents have three generations inside. Our grandparents have three generations inside. Our great grandparents three generations. That's why you can say one, you can say seven, you can say 10, you can say 13. That's numerical pattern I explained to you.
I see. So what is our best? So this information is beautiful and it's, the mystic and the mundane. What can people do? I mean, you obviously are so tapped in. The dreams you had, the remembering of something that's probably older than 5,000 years. Let's face it. I think you've remembered something very, very timeless. Speaking of time, which has been the conversation and topic of today with me and my friends. But what can people, I always go, now, how can we implement this information into our daily life? You know what I mean? Like, what can people do now that we know this? Like, okay, we're eating our breakfast and we're working. Like, how do we work with this information of our bodies
First
being
of all,
instruments, the ancestors? And
each person come to life has a purpose. So let's start between you and me, okay? Why you are here? Why did you choose this incarnation? And
Mhm.
why did you choose a particular bloodline? See,
Yes.
why you're here? Why did you choosing this ancestral gene pool? And
Mhm.
why did you choosing particular genetic pools?
That's a beautiful question. I remember my daughter's spirit guide saying that she chose my strengths to overcome the disease, the weaknesses and the darkness in her father's line. I swear to you, I heard that about 2 years ago. She was a teenager, and I go, "Why is she going through all this awful stuff?" And the message from spirit was she needed you as her mother to take the strength of your line to heal her father's line. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool.
Thank you. Like me, at age 43, one night I had a dream. In the dream, I saw exactly how I was conceived from my dad's mom's graveyard, which was my mom in the previous incarnation. She says, "Hey, do you need the body? My son's going to have another child if you want to." Okay, so that's one dot. Another dot, I saw exactly how my parents made love and conceived me.
Wow.
So if you talk about the moment, that is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You
Just
can
the
never
moment.
change that moment.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that moment's
thank
there.
you. At the same time, once we are helping people from this point onward, we have misconceived, misinformed for thousands of years. We counting life from the birth onward, right?
Yeah.
The birth is the result of conception. We have a birth without conception. How many moms, how many girls working so hard just to have a child for that 10 months or many, many years prepared before that? How many ancestors just waiting for you to become the future generation?
Wow. Especially because now we're kind of free to be ourselves, right? Isn't this the first time in
Exactly.
history?
The-
Yeah, like I
yeah,
asked my
yeah,
aunt, she's 91. I said, I just heard women didn't wear pants till the 70s. Like that blew my mind. Like now I can kind of do whatever I want. Like today, I can do whatever I want. And so I think of all these ancestors behind me that are in me and like, we couldn't wait to do what we want. You mean you don't have to marry if you don't want? You can wear pants. You can speak your
yes,
truth on YouTube. Like
yes.
we couldn't. We didn't have a voice. We didn't have safety. So I could see, look, I'm getting all red with excitement. That's what
Yes.
happened. My liver fire is coming up. It's like I hear them. I hear them and I'm thinking about like mystic to mundane, like practical speaking. Like I remember when I called on all these generations because my daughter was struggling with a really bad eating disorder and she was in a wheelchair and her heart was really weak and she was getting very sick and she was hospitalized in and out. And I called on my ancestors and I made them an altar as I was taught to do. And I fed them. I don't know what you think about feeding them, but I give them the food and the drink. And I was in the grocery store one day and I was so frustrated because I was like, oh my God, this girl won't eat. And I don't know how to help her. And my grandmothers came up and they started whispering advice into my ears. It's like, yeah, they were waiting to experience life through me, but they have wisdom that they want to share, right? Like our ancestors, they know. I'll
That's why
plant
we
these
choose them. That's why we choose them. That's why we choose them.
for their wisdom.
Yes, for the wisdom. Yes. But we're blind about the unfinished business at the same time. We were blind about their unfinished business, traumatic memories, PTSDs, and
Mm.
dying disease. So that's why we do this work. So our sickness, okay, look at this bit. Numerically speaking, we are the fourth generation and the 15th spirits, right?
Hmm.
Numerically. Okay. That's why these are the 14 women. We are on top of the top. Okay. So mathematically speaking, if you divide by 15 out of 100, maximum less than 10, 12%. So which means if everything in our body, we are only responsible for our soul's inclination, our problem. Everybody else's, like a parent's problem, individual problem, the relationship problem, grandparents' individual problem, and the relationship problem, relationship. That's the body's loaded inside. So that's why sometimes we go to the worst moment, dark hills of life, or goes to rivers. We just don't want to live because this is too heavy, this is too much. But at the same time, it is the very moment we reach not our own lowest point of life. We are repeating their lowest moment at the same time.
Wow. So that really answers my question. What are we here? How do we start to, like you said, I'm open, I'm free, even through a lifetime of violence, trauma. Like you would never look at me and know the darkness that I've walked and or that my parents have walked, but how did I think that sometimes in a generational line, I hear this all the time with my clients. You're the one to switch the dynamics now. And it seems to
Yes,
be my generation. I kid you not. It's like some of the like generations and it's possible in like 60s, 70s, 80s, but some of my clients I'm like, no, it's your child. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of frequency between this, right? I'm technically Gen X, but like there seems to be, and again, this is going back to time, right? And we know time's an illusion, but here on planet Earth, we work with it in a weird way. But there seems to be a generation that's being called as the ones to be the one in the line to shift things. Have you
exactly. Like as you're talking, it reminds me of Woodstock. I just woke up this morning, Woodstock. That area, okay? How your parents or grandparents experienced Woodstock. And then later 80s come age, the Persian Gulf War, and then Instagram. Now we are living on the 5G generation since the COVID.
Mhm.
See, everything is like there's a big air, astrologically speaking. We are all part of it. But at the same time, some people are blind the collective reason,
Mhm.
big picture.
Mhm.
See, this is where we do our own work, but at the same time, there's a big picture for the whole generational continuity. Like each generation experience something different that can
Yeah.
never replace or take away from it. Mhm.
So our soul's probably strategically plan so much. Can you imagine all the things we had to plan before we dropped in the body? Like, oh, I want a parent with that karma, and I want to be born on this land in the Midwest, and I want to do this and that, all for the souls, all for source to experience something through us. And I
You
think,
are, yeah, good. You're describing the conceptual moment because the Earth is big, you know. Our
mhm,
Spirit as a satellite or antenna system above the air, right? And we're
yes,
choosing the frequency of specific couples as are going to be parents. So
yeah,
most of the time, when two people are falling in love, we were blind, okay? Either we
you
have a
know
good
it.
time or we choosing that moment, that passion for our own conception journey.
This would explain too some of, right, everything's multifaceted, nothing's this cut or dry, but there are people that just really want to have a kid and the spirit doesn't come through, right?
Okay, now you talk about essence. Remember, we talking from the chest. Remember, start with you.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
from what I knew, on the male side, on the father side, it's only the matter of the potence of the sperm,
Hmm.
the quality of the sperm matters. That's it, right? On the mom side, if the mom's heart is broken, or if mom's pelvic have sexual memory, spirits won't touch it.
Say the last piece again. If
Let me say one
mom,
more time.
yeah.
If the mom's heart was frozen or broken hearted, or if she has specific sexual memories around pelvis, around ovary, spirits will not touch it.
Oh
That is
my,
why the very first time, just like, okay, you never made love before, it's the first time you made love. That's fresh. You're not
yeah.
repeating anything. You're not repeating anything.
Isn't that interesting?
But I'm talking, that's the nature of conception. Otherwise, spirit won't choose you as a going to be mom.
Wow.
Now, how about it requires, okay, you fall in love with somebody, you get a broken heart. Now, the broken heart, it changed the whole chest, breast glands, fallopian tubes, and all the, um, the female problem, female hormonal, cystic fibrosis, all those fluid
Oh yeah,
related.
people have a lot of women have
Yeah,
that POS, the cyst.
exactly, exactly. At the same time, each love journey supposed on that time and alone. Okay, in a house, right? You try to repeat the same recipe. If you cook a meal, never the same.
Yeah.
That's the nature of liveness.
How interesting. Oh my gosh.
So now all of a sudden, imagine right now you can use a me as example, we can use a you as example, or we can use a daughter or my child example. Okay, so it's
Mhm.
in that moment there's a certain pressure points in the body. They use that pressure points in the Bible. They call narrow gate. The spirits get into the womb through that key pressure points, and the majority of pressure points is umbilical. Umbilical. It's the largest the pressure points. That's why you zoom in, That's what spirit zooms in.
Wow, you really have an awesome way of explaining the spiritual and the physical. And you're not the first. I had my body played as an instrument one time in San Francisco. The it was similar, but a little. It was this man. He had lots of forms before the massage, and he said, I'm autistic, and so I do things differently. It was a 4-hour session, and he played. I remember, like, what is happening? And I opened up my eyes, and he was playing. I heard it. He's playing my body like an instrument. It was like I was the violin, the concerto, or whatever the word is, and so this is the second
You
time I've
are
heard.
the ancestral machine in that moment.
What's that? He was
You
working
are, your
ancestral.
body becomes the ancestral machine in that moment.
It was wild. It was a big
Yeah.
healing. It
So
was a
when
big healing.
I started the very first expo, 1998, I started San Francisco too. Yeah, the very first expo.
Okay, do
Crazy.
you know Mo Massage? That's his name, Mo. I wonder
I
if you
don't
met.
know. All I know,
Well,
after 50 different cities, nobody does the body work I'm doing.
no, no.
It's unteachable. It's unteachable. So
You
either
downloaded something
yes.
very ancient. It reminds me when I started having dreams of. So for me, I work with the Yeshua Mary Magdalene lineage, and I mean, that's a lot of generations back, right? But I'm connected to them somehow. Obviously, they were really magical beings here on Earth, and their DNA spread throughout the Earth and their teachings. But when I started to remember through dreams like sacred geometry, flower of life, all 2010 to 2012. And I would ask these beautiful spiritual beings in my dreams, well, how am I supposed to teach this and share this and know this? They said, you will not, you will live it. And then I started doing like body work on people. I had an office for 7 years when I was doing hair and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not doing Reiki. I'm not doing polarity therapy. What is this? And then I got the Mary Magdalene book, and I was doing what she was doing 2,000 years ago on people, the same hand placements. And I think if you can just get out of here, and I don't know what made you a clear channel. Maybe we could kind of end this session with that. Like, where did you get your channeling? Maybe it's ancestral. I know mine is, but it also was like a lot of intense things broke my mind open so that I could be a vessel to remember really, really old stuff and just see it clearly and understand that this 2 to 5,000 year old healings that people were doing in the last, like, it's coming through a lot of us, right? Like, we're channeling it through. We have our dreams, and it's old. It's very old teachings.
It's the essence of the matriarchal lineage.
That's right.
Man that have no clue how to heal. Man knows how to diagnose, but no clueless how to heal. Because the healing is about the same love you conceive the baby, the same love you heal the wounds in the baby.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
good.
That's very good. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
that's the
Well,
first.
that's the first.
At the same time, as you talk about your downloading, I do not want to disclose what you give to me in this moment.
Hmm.
Between 2000 and 2002 or 2000 2012, whatever that 2 years, okay? Divine Feminine give you a crystal. It's etheric crystal. It's almost like gemstone and the eyes and all the white matter combined. They place that inside your gut.
In
That's what I read
2002.
right now. Yeah, that's what I read right now. So with that crystal, it's like a frozen egg, by the egg as a frozen egg. In my tradition, the brain and abdomen, they got the two poles, North Pole and the South Pole. Supposed to be frozen, supposed to have eggs, okay? It's called frozen egg. Using the frozen egg to do the superconductive healing instead of materialize into ovulation or conception or milk. See, divine feminine, right? The frozen
Yeah.
egg is the essence of everything.
So I shouldn't be using the frozen egg to do that healing work, you said. It should be the.
That's called the ticket go home. That's the ticket go home. That's the daily hours to go home. That is how we blessing people into our life with your own vital essence.
Oh, that sounds tiring.
I know,
It's
I
exhausting.
know, because you give the essence a part of you.
Yeah.
That's the real exchange. Otherwise, it's fake. You're not gonna have a fake conception, you know. You're gonna have a fake conception, you know.
Yeah.
Has to be
What
real.
what happens when healers lay their hands on people, and instead of energy coming through to the essence coming through to play the instrument or to work with people, what what happened? I stopped hugging people really and like working on a lot of people myself. I now just do everything over the phone because I just suck it up into my body and take their disease and their stuff. Is that
I know, I know, I know. That's why healer or shaman are the oldest professions on earth, besides mom, besides nanny. Okay, to be
yeah.
because that's the worst problem. Okay. And to do that, you have to keep yourself very clean and very recruit from the mass. And because you have such an antenna system, the moment you're on the street, you're out in public, your body communicate organically without doing so. At the same time, healing taking place on its own, right? You work on a person half hour, an hour, so after session, it doesn't mean the healing stops in an hour session. The energy continues.
Yes.
And the energy,
Yes.
the real energy continues when you're not doing the healing. That's why it's a lifelong journey. That's why the healers, all the shamans, we call wounded heroes.
The one wounded healers. Yes.
And a
Cairo.
wounded hero, and wounded heroes, and the same thing. Wounded heroes.
Heroes.
Yeah,
Oh, I
wounded
like that
heroes.
term. I've never heard wounded heroes. I like
Yeah,
that.
I know. We are because we are doing heroic job, we get a sick from it. We are doing our own heroic job, we get a sick
That's what
from
I've
it.
seen. I've seen, I don't know if you know, like my friend Maggie Harden, and like I had this one psychic friend, Sherry Claire, and they both they both got sick and passed from healing. And yeah,
Because they
so
have
I
not
just,
done the internal work. They have not done the internal work.
that's the difference. Okay.
You have
Okay.
to pass in the sensory wires to tap into the soul, to call it the soul. How to cultivate the soul internally without sensory distraction, without sensory disruption. That's the real work.
Oh, that's good. I'm taking notes so I can put it in our synopsis. So do you have any We'll be back. I know this is exciting conversation. Do you have any final heartfelt share I know we were talking a little bit about spring and that connection to the spot in the body of the ovaries, but did you have anything else that you wanted to final thoughts or anything that you wanted to share?
In my tradition, we have three springs. From birth to puberty, we call it innocent spring.
Mm-hmm.
From puberty to going to be father and mom, it's called like adolescent spring. And
Ooh.
from the motherhood to wisdom, getting old, midlife crisis, that's the third spring.
Okay, I'm in my
Okay,
third spring. Cool.
good.
Got it.
Yeah. So how your soul can travel organically with that time frozen. From you can be a little girl, you can be 5 years old, you can 2 months in the womb, you can 20 years old, you can that's the time travel. That's called the three spring.
Three spring. So
Yes.
after the midlife evolution, your springs are that's your last time to
Externally it's gone. Externally is over, but depends on your inner child. Is your inner child 5 years old, 14 years old, or 30 years old? The age of your soul.
wow. That is so cool.
And you have to integrate all together. You have to, they have the, because they are part of you. It's like 3 seasons of a year. You're
Yeah.
part of the seasons of life. You cannot separate them. They are part of you. So
And it
meaning, yeah, the passion from a childhood different from the passion when you are the pubic stage.
that's right.
Good. And the passion you become mother or dad is different from your lovers.
Yeah.
And the passion you are in the real wisdom, 55, 6 years after. That's the real passion because you gone through the three spring and you can activate in each of the spring required in that moment because the innocence is still there.
Oh my gosh. I see it with this.
Yeah.
It's like if
That's
you can
called the
connect them.
divine innocence. Exactly. That's a divine innocence. Yes.
Yeah. I see it as the triangle. And oh my
Which is the
gosh.
Merkaba, which is the Merkaba itself, which is the Merkaba.
I have one on my back, a dragon holding a
Beautiful.
Merkaba.
Oh my goodness. So
I pulled where did I pull this card? Oh my gosh, I pulled the prettiest card for you today. Or us, enlightenment, moving forward. So, this is an enlightening conversation. I got the understanding, looking at all the sides or both the sides. And then space, this dragon was about space. And I thought space time. to talk about this and to really you can't conceptualize it here. You have to do, you talk about the three springs. There's also the three places with which we are informed of life and information, right? The mind, the heart, and the guts. And it's like this whole trilogy, it requires us to look at space and
Okay,
time different.
hold it there, my dear, hold there. Just hold the dragon for a second, okay? There are two forms of dragon:
Oh.
Western version dragon and the Oriental version of the dragon. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
that if you're looking at the constellation Draco
Uh-huh.
constellation, there are 16 stars. Each of the 16 stars is a part of the 12 constellation. That's the
Oh.
space. So when you talk about space of the dragon, you're talking about entire our own constellation space, not personal space.
I think there's 16. Is this the It's so small. I have to show you a picture on Facebook. But they have constellations in these cards, and I think there might be a 16. I don't know if this is Draco or not, but they do put constellations on these dragons. So that
Supposed to
is
be, supposed to be, supposed to be. So the stars outside is the Western constellation. The star inside is the Oriental dragon or the Chinese dragon. But two space, like inside house and outside house. That's the
that
two
makes
version of
sense.
dragon.
As
That's the two
above.
version of dragon. That's the
Yeah.
Western culture, very analytical, not physically connected. See,
Uh-huh.
that this, especially man-made conscious civilization, is a total divorce from the divine feminine, from the sensory body.
Wow. Very cool. But this is a
Yeah.
lot of information to process, to journal, to look at, and to let seep in. So thank you so much for um, being willing to share today and
Thank you.
explore and play. And may we play again soon.
So, thank you, and enjoy the day.
Okay, you
Let's
too.
the journey begin. Thank you for being this co-creator and host and global what? Free global what? Forgot it. That's
I'm
an
just in
internal.
my third spring trying to have fun over here.
Yes.
And I thought, there's a lot of things I can do with my life right now, right? My kid's in college and my life has opened up. One of the things I enjoy the most is talking to earth wisdom keepers. And to me, you are a wisdom keeper here on earth, and make it fun, explore, remember, I'm at that point in my life where it's like, yeah, I can do different things. I could lead a workshop, I could lead a retreat. And then when I really felt into like, okay, you don't have to do anything, Dawn. What do you want to do? So here's that third spring fun thing. I like talking to people that I'm interested in. And so,
Let's make this alive in the future.
okay,
Thank you for sharing me this platform. You materialize, you experienced. Let
yes.
the journey begin. Thank you.
And